Hey there, fans of brotherly love wrestling. It is I, Vic Dalishus.
Philly's own, the Mecca here.
It is the real McCoy, J.D.X. Justin D. Xavier. And
it's your man, CD, the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels.
Hello, boys and girls. This is your old friend RJ City.
Hey there, brotherly love wrestling. Bill Carr here.
Hey everyone, this is two-time guest Wheeler Yuta.
Two bozos from Philadelphia flapping their gums about pro wrestling this, pro wrestling that.
Which is not that unique in the grand scheme of things yet.
You are in for a treat because you're tuned in to Brotherly Love Wrestling.
Philadelphia, are you ready?
No! They said, are you ready?
This is Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast, your first stop for everything professional wrestling. So sit back and enjoy wrestling talk at its finest with your hosts, Larry Hall and Joe Corrado.
Welcome, everybody, to the 300th episode of Brotherly Love Wrestling. And on our show today, it wouldn't be our 300th episode, and it wouldn't be the now if we had everybody here. I mean, if you followed our track record with the now and with...
You can't lump them both together.
A certain Hale Collins, who we've gone through this a lot. So
he is our Cosmo Kramer.
Yeah, joining us today should have been the now, and who knows, knowing Hale, he'll just show up. But with us on time is Mr. Vic Dalishus. Vic, welcome back.
Not only on time, but like he got here. This has been a half-hour build-up for this show.
Yeah,
with just Vic, it's
not that we're complaining.
No, but it's almost like it's
so I don't have to do on air. But gentlemen, congratulations on 300 episodes. It is a monumental task in the world of wrestling podcasts to actually make 300 episodes and still have an audience that is growing. So congratulations on that. You guys have done quite a bit of amazing work, to be very honest. So like from where you started when I very first met you guys to where you're at right now, we were just doing a little bit of reminiscing before we came on, and I just get to really thinking about it. And you guys have come a really long way, and it's really cool to see you at 300 episodes. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's still weird. It's still weird to me that we've done this show and the people we've had on and the people we've gotten like to actually like know. When I was watching wrestling as a kid, like if my kid wrestling self were to tell me now, I'd be like, dude, you're going to actually get to talk to professional wrestlers about professional wrestling and like get to know them maybe a little bit beyond professional wrestling. I would have been like, no, you're a fucking idiot. No, nothing will ever happen like that.
Yeah. The thing I always say is, I mean, we've said it from the beginning. If we're not having fun, we're going to stop. This can't be work. Like we want to always have fun doing this. And then the things that we've gotten out of doing this and just opportunities we've had, and I always bring it up, is just like we were talking about House of Hardcore before we got on here. The one night, I think it was the night where you messed up your knee and you were sitting in the back and they didn't want anyone to see you. And then after the show, we came out and we're sitting at the bar and we have a beer. I think Hale's next to us and a couple other wrestlers are at the bar with us. And I turned to Joe and I was like, Joe, we are sitting at a bar in South Philly drinking with a bunch of wrestlers. Like there are things that we did. I was like, there's no way you could tell me that as a kid. That just, it's the coolest thing in the world. And we're on the very, very small level when it comes to things like that. But hey, we talked to a WWE and Wrestling Hall of Famer in Ricky Morton. We talked to Tony Atlas.
Tony Atlas came by for a quick sandwich. And
5 minutes, but nonetheless, we still talk to Tony Atlas.
We do know that he hates current wrestling. That's what we know from Tony Atlas. He just hates current wrestling and everything that goes on with it. But that's all we know about Tony Atlas.
Yeah, the stuff we got to do with this show that I don't think we ever would have dreamed of. And it's not even that big a scale, but to us, it means a lot. So it's still so fun to do this show. I don't care if we have one listener or 1,000, doesn't matter. It's just so fun.
Yeah, man, they don't just let any like people, you know, have a podcast and still keep going. Like you could do this for like 10 or 15 episodes and like people might listen, might not, and then kind of just fizzles out. But the way that you endear yourselves to us, the wrestlers, where you are professional but you're personable and you ask great questions, and it doesn't feel like you're in this kind of an interview when talking to you guys, but it's still very professional, is why I think a lot of guys recommend you as a quality podcast. So there's no way you get this far without one guy saying to somebody else, like, hey, those guys are pretty decent, or yeah, they do a great job, or yeah, I got a lot out of it, or whatever the case is. So if you sucked at this or you weren't any good at it, you would have got schooled time ago. And I think that the relationships you've been able to build with people inside the business is a testament to the quality of people that you are, because wrestlers have this really good gauge on people for the most part, and we can tell who are of our ilk and who are not. And you know, I've had nothing but amazing conversations with both of you guys, and I consider you both friends. So we've gone through a lot in this whole journey, and it's no surprise to me that Hale would be late for it, but that's my chance to bury him.
So I remember watching you. Speaking of Hale and you, I remember watching like the old, what was it, the NEW stuff that you guys did together, and like now, however many years, 10 plus years later, maybe 15, 20 plus years later, it was when Hale was still rocking the crazy hair.
15, about 15 years.
Like the feud that you guys had, and like how well you know each other. Like I would just love to see that. I know it's now. Like
Okay.
now I would love to see that type of feud. Just like, even if it's a one-off. Look at this guy with the fucking track jacket. Jesus Christ.
Ladies and gentlemen, our other half of the Now has finally joined us
from the hallway of a Marriott.
Hey!
There was a noise.
Oh my God.
So Hale,
Can't take the stress.
Once again, welcome to the show. We have started without you. We are officially recording, so.
Oh, that's great. Thanks. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being so punctual. We appreciate it.
No, I tried my best to be on time, and I can't believe I let this down. I was like thinking about this all day. Like, that's it. I'm gonna show those guys up. I'll be a half hour early.
Nobody
bad. I'm so sorry.
Is that?
I'm gonna be a half hour early. 43 minutes late.
Yeah, you have no idea. You have no idea.
A half hour. We would have taken like 5 minutes late. A half hour early was very.
No, I'm sorry. I suck. Sorry. All right, you guys are still cool. All right, that's good.
Well, you can still wish congratulations on their 300th episode. It's not too late.
Yeah, thanks, Vic. Congratulations, guys. It's actually really cool. It's an honor to be here, you know. Now, it's so much of an honor. I could be on fucking time. So bad. So sorry.
So basically what we'll do is we'll split this 300 and it'll be 300 and a half. So you made it.
Well, I probably have like 1,000 cops like trying to look for me right now because I was like flying doing like 100.
That's what we like. We like the commitment to the show. The dedication is what brings you back in.
Yo, I think my car is destroyed.
You didn't hit a fucking mailbox, did you?
I don't know what I hit.
Oh my.
All right, so now that we have the full Now with us, I was talking to Joe earlier today, and we used to do this in the very beginning when we first had you guys on. I think we did it more with Hale than if we even did it with Vic, I'm not sure. But we had a segment very early on for people that listened in the beginning. It was called Living in the Now with Hale Collins. And we brought up all these things, and we would say what's now and what's so not now. So we figure we bring this back now that we have both of you on, be able to do it with both of you. But this time we're going to throw in, everything that's going on in wrestling, and we can expand on each one and whatever your guys' opinion. I feel like from what we have on here, we should have enough to talk about. So we will start with one that is connected to you guys, and that is the NWA on CW. Now or not now?
So now.
Very now. So now.
Yeah, the most now. I think that makes the NWA the actual big talk of the town the last week or so, because it's literally been what everybody's been hoping for, that the NWA could get this outlet and get a place where the talent could be shown off that wasn't just YouTube. And I read an interview that Billy Corgan said that YouTube's not such a great partner with wrestling, and that is such a great thing to put out there publicly and to say, because they're really not such a great partner. You can get all the content really for free out there, and they don't necessarily monetize it correctly, and they don't make it friendly for the wrestling companies to make money and their talent to make money off of the content that's being created. So the fact that the NWA is able to take their product now and put it on a national big time network, one of the top 20 networks in the whole world, and have people get a chance to see the NWA product, I think that could only be a great thing for wrestling. And I think, of course, that means it could be a great thing for us too.
Hale, have anything to add?
Whew. Well, I couldn't have said better myself. Yeah, man, hit all the good stuff there. Definitely put NWA they were on the map, but now they're even on the map even more. And can't wait to see all the people that want the opportunity to wrestle for them, because they're going to fly out of everywhere to try to get on. But real quick, guys, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, was it so now or so not now when you saw me at House of Hardcore in Philly, and that's where we first met? Is it so now or so not now seeing me and it'd be like, hey guys, what's going on? And you were like, well, we got this idea. Right? We can't start that stuff like how we met, right? That's where we kind of officially met, right?
Yeah.
Like I was sitting and I was like moping. I was like, man, everything sucks. And you were like, and you came over like, yo, so we got this idea. You go on, you tell us what's now, and what's so not now. I'm like, then I go, look at you both, and I go, finally, someone gets it. Rock and roll with this, man. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed those times with you guys, and it was definitely one of my favorite times, because it's like one of the things that sticks out in my head the most was when freaking people decide to put like barbecue sauce as the marinara or the pizza sauce. It's like overkill, and it's just a nightmare. So like that's one of the times that was really a lot of fun. But when it comes to the end of it, like going huge, it's awesome. And hopefully, you guys see us on there a lot more,
So I have a question, and I don't know if you're going to be able to answer it or not, but now if you put NWA on, well, when NWA gets the TV time and whatnot, you'd pretty much put them, we were talking about this while we were waiting for Hale to graciously come to the show finally, but it puts them a step or two ahead of Impact, because of how, like, you're looking at Impact's on like a third or fourth tier station that if you have just a step above basic cable, you still don't get access. So I don't even get the goddamn show, because I'm not paying an extra like $30 a month for extra channels. So I can't even watch Impact live. So the CW I can. So that puts you a step ahead of them.
It's huge. That's huge, man. It's like that's one of the number one things that like people like, just around my area, like, like there's a lot of fans of Poughkeepsie, you guys know. So you got the Philly fans, you got the Poughkeepsie fans. Because I wish more shows were in this area so the fans can really show their true passion on wrestling. But you walk around and the people go like, yo, how you watch Impact? And as a just the everyday kind of fan, it's hard for them to, no one's gonna look into it to do that. So I agree with you there. Like, anyways, like it's much easier to watch now.
That's what I like.
Well, I think we're probably going to see a big difference in 2024 as far as all of wrestling and how it's presented, because Impact's about to make a play for CM Punk, and that is like what they've been talking about as biggest news. That's something that's about to happen as a big deal, and that puts Impact in a very, very, very good position in the fans' eyes. It makes them very legitimate at this point. So they've also talked about Impact touring at bigger arenas in the next year. NWA is talking about being in bigger places in the next year. So 2024, man, like you got WWE hitting on all cylinders right now. They're literally like, they're telling the talent they don't have any comps for their friends and their family at any of the shows. So they're legitimately selling out all of these places. The wrestling business is like at a high point right now. And I think that as long as you create something that people want to see, the fans will tune into it. There's that support wrestling.
Now, the funny thing is that, I mean, NWA being on the CW, and depending on how marketing and advertising and all that crazy shit that goes into it goes, and actually getting the word out enough to where people are going to tune in and then watch. Like, I see them as like direct competition, because I know what the product of NWA is. It's a very old school product.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could directly have impact, and I don't, no pun intended, on AEW more than actually Impact. Like, you're on a network and you're doing a show that could potentially be what AEW wanted to do and be this different
alternative.
this alternative wrestling product, when you guys are going to be the actual alternative.
Yeah, one thing is definitely going to separate from everything, really. Not everything, but like a lot of it is NWA is very, very, very extremely strict with making everything make sense. So like if you're in the ring and you don't make something make sense, right when you walk through that curtain, you have about 10 different people telling you, hey, that didn't make sense. You know, so you don't want to go out there and wrestle again and make those same mistakes. Or there's a lot of critiquing, there's a lot of teachers there, there's a lot of positive feedback, which makes everyone better. But like NWA stands for traditional wrestling. Like, you hold the tag team rope when you're going to get tagged. You know, like if you don't hold that rope, the referee's not going to let you tag. So if you forget, you have bad habits, it's not something that will be accepted. You know, so you can do your dives, you can do your high flying, you can do all that fun stuff, but it better make sense. It better be part of the story of the match, because it's a lot different in the NWA with that kind of stuff.
I can't wait to tell my dad that the NWA is going to be back on TV. He's going to tune in quicker than fucking anybody, because he loves that. That's what he grew up with. That's what I grew up with because of him. And just to see him, like, because he'll have the honest opinion. He'll be like, this, and you know you're doing your job right when my dad's like, this guy's a real fucking jerk off. Like, the heel, like this, like, and he's still that way to this day. Like, this guy's a real fucking jerk off. I was like, man, you never lost it.
Mm-mm.
He's the purest wrestling fan.
If he's gonna start watching it, it's perfect for him watching, because he hasn't been overexposed to stuff that, you know, like, doesn't make sense. Or
no, and that,
like people landing on their heads a million times and then getting up from it. You know, it's like he hasn't seen that, so he's back to watching traditional, you know, wrestling. I'm not taking anything away. It's just, you know, it's going to be fun. You got to tell a story with everything.
Yeah, it's the simplify but still make it like really entertaining. It's
a lot of the guys are badass. They're really legit tough guys. Like, yeah, this is the facts. You know,
I mean, you got to literally have a guy called Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, Wrecking Ball's a tough guy, man. Like, he like, nothing for nothing. Like, he tried, like, he messed me one time. Like I kind of fucked him a little bit, you know. So he got like a little pissed, and like I try to get around him. The dude's fucking fast. Football, you know, that's Vic's world. He could explain like what he did in football better than I could probably. But like, I couldn't believe that guy can move that fast. It's pretty scary, to be honest with you. You know, like, I'm like, damn, you're like you're legit, man. You know.
And he doesn't know how strong he really is, dude. That guy snatched me out of midair when I did a cross body on him and just like flipped me around like I was a toy. So
no, it's Kerr.
That guy. Yeah, that guy too.
That guy's Yeah. Like these guys today going today is pretty tough. That's what I'm saying. Wrecking Ball could also support his own weight a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he's pretty good.
That's a lot of what's like kind of missing on some. Like everyone wants like that big flash and let's do a million spots. Like the big guys that just beat the hell out of you. Like where have they been? Because that's what I want to see. I want to see the guys that just beat the hell out of you.
Well, a good way. Yeah. But yeah.
All right,
just
so
did that thing where each other and shit.
Yeah. We all just all cut each other off, and then everyone went radio silent.
Awesome.
So, since we talked about Impact, that's a part of the next one. Impact going back to the TNA name, now or not now?
I'm gonna say now, because what old is new, what old is now again, you know, and it's like that, you know, that nostalgia. Actually, it's so weird because like we're all like similar age, you know. You guys are a lot older than me, but like it's like we grew up. We kind of like we're already older when TNA came out, you know. But isn't it weird how TNA's now nostalgia a little bit, right?
It is.
Yeah,
like
when they were running in Orlando, like the fucking what were they?
In the Impact Zone.
Yeah, wasn't that Universal or some shit?
Something like that, some kind of studio like that.
It's the same place that they was. It's the same place that Double Dare was.
Yeah.
Nice. Man, I always wanted to be on that show. Do you guys ever want to be on that show?
Dude, that Guts. I wanted to be on Guts.
Oh, Guts was great too. Oh man,
you can really show the true athlete that you were on Guts.
Yeah, Guts. Oh, yeah.
Was Guts with the aggro crag?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad. I wanted to do the temple though. I thought that I could actually like destroy the temple because like it had to be fast, but you also could like get away with like you know, there was ways around some of the bullshit, but like
you'd be smart fast.
Yeah, they had cooler prizes. I was on Double Dare when I went to Universal. I went to the Nickelodeon. What? I wasn't on the real Double Dare though. I was on
you Jobber Double Dare.
Yeah, it was Jobber. Yeah, but I got slimed, so that counts because that's all I ever wanted. Like I wanted to get slimed real bad, and I got slimed. So even though
I like that we went down this path because I did want to bring up did you guys watch the Netflix American Gladiators?
Oh, that was great.
Yes, I watched that. The documentary?
Yeah. Of the 90s shows, like that was my favorite one. That one was, and they even alluded to it in the documentary. Like it was like wrestling, sport, it was football, wrestling, it was a bunch of different things put together, but it was like all real. Like you saw these fucking dudes getting slammed.
Well, one thing I think about, I never knew how many injuries happened. You know, you don't really think that when you're a kid. But how bad Sundays though? Yeah, like W Superstars or USA or whatever, and then Gladiators come on at 1:00. It was the best.
It really was, dude. I missed that part. I mean, it's not now living in the past, but sometimes the past is now.
Sometimes then is now again, and it's good to visit sometimes.
It's good. I say it's now because none of us ever stopped calling it TNA to begin with.
That's true.
So,
very true. Very true.
Do you think it's just a money grab or like a last ditch effort by them?
Well, no. But what's interesting is that anytime that you do something like that, there's got to be like focus groups and whatnot to see the value of the branding. So there's clearly somebody has done some research and found that there's value in the branding of reviving TNA over the value in the branding that they've put into Impact Wrestling, because you don't just do that. So there's clearly like the time that TNA was on Spike TV and the time that it was mainstream clearly left an imprint in people's brains enough that if they bring it back, they're hoping that it sparks an audience to remember the product. So, you know, Impact might go down as one of the biggest, like, not necessarily failures, but like didn't reach its potential of a brand in all of wrestling.
Yeah. it could have reached its potential if it was around today.
Yeah.
It was like ahead of its time, you could say.
Yeah.
You know.
So it's a what if of wrestling history.
Yeah, like X Division. Imagine if I was around today.
So a lot of wrestling is based off of that exact division. Like the X division is what, like 70% of wrestling right now?
Yep.
Yeah, it's true.
For the good and the bad of it, because it's also the same reason why guys are doing fucking flipping Canadian destroyers versus a Canadian destroyer versus a Canadian destroyer versus a Canadian destroyer. So
Yeah, it
it's
was.
all
They took it to the extreme. Like at least with the X division, there was there was a lot of action, but there was more times than not, there was still a story in there.
yeah. Watching pay-per-views right now is I love doing that. Like they're playing like Hard Justice from like 07 and stuff, like, and I love watching it because there's really hidden gems of wrestling matches and stories and things that were there that are lost in the annals of time. So
yeah, I think it's all good. We got the NWA coming at making some moves. We got TNA now making moves. WWE's like on all cylinders. We got like a lot of cool stuff going on. We got AEW that got the Ring of Honor library and running Ring of Honor. It's just so much wrestling. It's just
So because you brought that up, speaking of so much wrestling, 3 weeks ago, we had NXT go up against AEW for the first time since they were both on the Wednesdays. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts as performers and also as fans. Do you like that better when they're on the same night as far as consumption and watching, or do you like that they are typically on separate nights?
I like personally I like separate nights, because I don't know. I mean, as a fan, I don't know. I liked it when I was a fan was like like WCW versus WF or WE because it was cool. But that was like the story. You didn't know who was going to show up. It was like they're like competing with each other. I feel like that both brands aren't really competing with each other now. It's like I don't know. It's not like they're taking shots at each other. Maybe the next day, but not like as a story. As that makes sense. I can't really you don't have who's going to show up and this that and it doesn't work now anymore like that. I think I don't know. I think it's better to be on separate deals. Everyone enjoy wrestling on their own night. Blah blah blah.
But isn't that how it's become, like, as the wrestling society though, like very complacent, like nobody wants to ruffle any feathers. Like competition was when wrestling was at its absolute best, when there was competition.
The timing has to be right. Like time has to be right for that. Like
yeah,
people like when WCW launched and Hogan turned and Kevin Nash up. Like you never seen that before. You never saw like another character jump ship to it. Like you did, but not like that capacity. It was just a different day. I don't think it fits in today's world, to be honest. With that kind of ratings war crap. I don't know how they do ratings anymore anyway. You have like YouTube, you have all this other shit. People DVR, people have like cable, people don't have cable, people like stream it. You really could tell ratings. Back then it was cut and dry. Either you watched it, you didn't.
Well, that's what I was gonna say was that right now when you do that, you're splitting the same audience for no reason because the amount of people that are going to watch wrestling live on a Tuesday night isn't going to change. So whether or not they watch one show or the other, it's not going to, you're just splitting the same audience up. Fans consume pro wrestling a la carte. That's the way it goes now. It's not necessarily appointment watching. Like not even Monday Night Raw is appointment watching anymore. Like a lot of times, like it's okay to I'll watch it after it's over or even the next morning or just maybe one week I'm just watching the highlight clip show or you consume wrestling. There's wrestling on every night of the fucking week. Like there's so much for you to consume that you literally you can't build your life around watching wrestling on television. So you have a life and then wrestling fits in where it can. And I don't think that having a war on a Tuesday night adds anything other than splitting the same audience. Like, yeah, maybe like some more people will tune in because there's like a buzz about it, but it doesn't do anything for the long-term success of like keeping the stuff going. Like, Cena's not going to be on NXT again. You know, Undertaker's not going to be on NXT again. And what did AEW get out of it? Other than just not necessarily coming off looking good by taking shots at them. So, no, I don't know. I don't think that was like a win-win. I think it was more like a lose-lose to see whose dick was bigger. And WWE is always going to have the bigger wang. That's just the way it is.
And
like,
thank you for the show title.
It's the way it's going to be, man. Like, you're not going to fucking break that entity of pro wrestling. Like, they have this business. Like, they've got it figured out. The waves, the ups and the downs. Like, WWE has got it. They are weathered the storm. They are set for 5, 10, 20, 100 years if they want to. Like, anybody else has got to be totally comfortable with being like a really solid number 2 right now. Because the idea of somebody just destroying WWE is far and away not going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, the pedigree alone. I mean, no pun intended, but it's just they have the history. They have the history behind them. They have everybody that you love now was probably 9 times out of 10 somehow involved in WWE, and that's how you found out about them. Like the most over guys and girls in the industry have all come from WWE or have been a part of WWE in some facet or are in there now. Like, look, Roman, Cody, you got Edge. I mean, Danielson, Moxley. I mean, you name it. Those are Jericho. Those are the most over people.
You want to know what's really cool? How the NWA is all new.
But it is, though. So it gives you that opportunity.
It's like you're gonna see guys you haven't seen, but they can all wrestle. You're not gonna see a bunch of botches and shit. It's gonna be rough, tough wrestling. You know, it's like you know they can have their little wars, they can do all that stuff, but the NWA is gonna show you old school wrestling, legit tough guys, make everything make sense. Try to see through it. You won't be able to, and then it's like we have a legit wrestling show from all 80s, 90s, 2000s, late 2000s, 2010s, I don't fucking know, all together, and you got a really cool product. I think that's what MDA represents. I think it's going to separate them from WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, Japan, all.
Are they still going to do the studio set?
NWA Power?
I don't know. We haven't gotten any details at all. Like, we have no, it's like how it's going to be, where it's going to be, nothing. So it's just, I think they're trying to finish out the year from what they've got set up for 2023. And then we'll all get kind of an idea of what 2024 is at the same time. I think that's their plan. So in pro wrestling, it's better to keep things quiet than it is to let anything get out, because once something is made public, it can be squashed pretty easily. So I think the strategy for them is keep everything as close to the vest until it's a surefire thing.
If and when I get to see you two guys on national fucking TV, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good day.
That's gonna be incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, my brother will love like wristbands. I am like brother love out, you know.
So I have another one, and we kind of mentioned the name a little bit. I want to start with Vic on this one, because you've been in the ring with him, even though no one's seen it, but you have. CM Punk returning to, whether it is Impact, like we touched on, or to WWE, him returning and to come back to the ring now, or so not now.
I say very now. I'm a fan of what he brings to the table, whether it be On the mic or in the ring, I think he brings it all of the times, and he has a fan base that is loyal, that spends money on pro wrestling. So having him back in the fold, I've never had a time where I've watched CM Punk and was disappointed with what I saw, honestly. I mean, he's provided some entertainment for what he's got going on, and it's always a different, whether it's promos or whether it's in ring or something. There's a thing about him that makes me want to watch him. So regardless, even if it's to see him fail, which I think a certain amount of people want to watch just to see that too. And I don't want to see him fail. I want to see him succeed, but I think there's a certain amount of his detractors that'll tune in just for that also. Same with the Young Bucks too. It goes the same way that way. But CM Punk being involved in pro wrestling is good for pro wrestling, and whether it be on Impact or whether it's come back to WWE, it's good to get people talking, and it's good to have that personality around because he can bring it. And anybody who has a proven track record in pro wrestling that can bring it, that is a polarizing personality, is needed right now. And we just talked about 4 companies all needing stars. Like, he's needed. So go get your money.
Hale, what do you think?
Oh, so now, I mean, like, everybody's dying to hear what he has to say, right? With no holding him back. So that's gonna be cool. I bet whoever gives me opportunities to get on the mic and he's just gonna go, or he's gonna ignore it all. Come on,
that's not gonna happen.
But either way, it's cool. So like, he's awesome. So it's like, might as well freaking say what he has to say. Really, I mean, as a fan's point, it's like, why not? So now,
yeah, I mean, he's arguably the most buzzworthy wrestler still.
Mm-hmm.
He's been buzzworthy without even stepping foot in the ring for 7 years.
Yep. Yeah. It is what it is. I don't really know him personally. I can't really talk about him on that personal level, but as an entertainer and a wrestler and all that good stuff, and his promos and cool, like, as a fan, man, I think it's good for wrestling either way. And he has a lot of knowledge, and he can pass it on. So it's all a win. It's a big win everywhere. Really.
So,
how about barbecue chicken on pizza?
No, you stop it
now or start right now.
Oh, you want to know something? Speaking of pizza, you want to know what's so?
Go ahead.
Is barbecue chicken? No. Bacon cheddar chicken ranch, right? With barbecue sauce dripped on it, like little lines,
like a drizzle,
and then drizzle, and then hot sauce that will drizzle.
Where's the ranch though?
The ranch, you cook the ranch on the pizza all together. Like, the ranch comes out, so it's like bacon cheddar chicken ranch, and then when it comes out, you zigzag the hot sauce and barbecue sauce, and you put it in the oven for like, I don't know, like a minute. It's actually the mixture of all the sauces. It's actually like my new favorite thing right now.
Dude, there's a lot going on in that.
It is
pizza. That's almost not a pizza.
That's what people say. People say that, and I'm like, it is.
But it is.
But it is.
I'm telling you, you try it, and like the mixture of all the sauces creates like something very tasteful.
Try it, meaning like I have to now find a spot that's gonna do it.
Let's come up to New York.
I sure as shit ain't making it,
and it ain't anywhere down here.
And it has to be a thin Sicilian crust to make it perfect.
Oh, shit. You just added another like hard element to this quest.
We'll never try that unless we come up to you guys.
Yeah, man, that'd be great.
You gotta pin the location. I'll come up and get the pizza.
Don't forget the cheesesteaks.
Yeah, that's my new favorite thing.
We still have to do that.
We still owe them the cheesesteaks.
We still do.
Yeah.
Well, you guys again have to be closer. Like the one regret we do have is that you were down in Wildwood, which was probably the closest you've been since you guys were at HOH.
And that's not that close. That's still an hour 20.
Yeah, but at least there's cheesesteak places in Wildwood that are still good. You still got Tony Luke's that's down on the boardwalk now. So like you have good cheesesteak places.
How am I going to go on the boardwalk though and not go to Sam's? Like
that's a whole nother conversation.
How the fuck did I miss Tony Luke's on the boardwalk? I would have been there.
Yeah, last.
It's like you two exist in the same ring, but not in the same universe.
No, I
broke them.
where you get the French fries with the cheese on them. Oh, dude, that's what's up. See, you don't know.
Well, yeah, you got the little bacon bits on top.
You know, you just seen it. You didn't eat it. You've seen it.
I think I ate a lot on the boardwalk.
Whatever, man.
I have one more that I wanted to touch on. Again, it's kind of a throwback. So WWE bringing back Halloween Havoc and War Games for Survivor Series. So the WCW throwback pay-per-view is now being in WWE and coming back now, or so not now.
So now, just as long as they have the cage high enough so they could do a powerbomb.
Well, they took the top off of it.
It is now, but Halloween Havoc is 2 weeks, which kind of ruins it because it's like split into 2 episodes, which is kind of lame, but it's still kind of cool because the last night they had a lot of like Halloween aspects to it, so they actually made it very like Halloween themed, which is cool. And then next week, our good friend Robbie E is coming out of retirement to wrestle, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, he's going against Breaker.
I'm so excited to watch it. I literally, I can't wait to watch it. It's gonna be very exciting. I hope Braun Breaker really brings his best.
I agree.
Well, you got anything else for the guys?
I mean, no, just a thank you for,
of course, as always,
for what riding through. I mean, we were talking about it. You guys have been with us for almost the start of this fucking podcast. You've come on whenever we've asked, you guys have said yes, no matter what. I mean, sometimes on time, sometimes not, but
remember I mentioned I left David Arquette with Johnny Roz because I was late. He was there talking to him for like a half hour.
Yeah, we're still waiting for that David Arquette interview too.
That is never going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
It never happened.
Yeah, I got there late and he was just hanging out with Johnny Roz. Like, of course you got there late. I'm like, fuck.
Well, like Joe said, guys, we can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for us, as far as just any kind of fans that are fans of you that watch our show, and of course accepting us and being so cool to us, hanging out, having beers in 2300 with you guys, and hanging out at countless indie events. We love you guys. You're definitely two of our closest friends, without a doubt, and we thank you for everything and continue to the future. But right now we'll stick with the now.
You guys are the best. You guys are always great to us, and you guys always got the gimmick. Also,
it was
instant
simple. It's not a hard gimmick. I mean, it's simple. I like simple. If I have to think about it, I hate it.
Yeah, but believe it or not, people think about it. What? I'm like,
Who is, before we go, who is one interview you guys haven't been able to get that you'd want to get?
So like a realistic interview that we've wanted to get, but
like realistic.
I mean, only because he's local, I wanted to get Drew Gulak. That was one that I really wanted, but him being tied up with WWE, like we were never able to get it, just because it would spring so much more than wrestling. Like, because he's a huge Philadelphia sports fan. Like, he goes to all the games when he's in town, like, and he gets like good seat, like, and a wealth of like technical wrestling knowledge, which I love. It would have just been, it would have been cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, that would have been a good one.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That would have been my answer too. Gulak for sure.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
local ties mean a lot to Philadelphia. To
Yeah.
Philadelphians, and there's
awesome. So I get it.
The fucked up thing is that Philly doesn't have like a lineage like anymore, like a tight, like no one's listed from Philly anymore. It's always somewhere else, Midwest a lot.
A lot of Midwest now, huh? Right?
Yeah, a lot of Midwest, but like we take a lot of pride in people that are homegrown. I mean, if I was going independent though, like who would seem like they would be like a fun guy to talk to? I mean, we've gotten some really good ones though, like you guys, and like I love talking to Dan and Bill. Like those were like those guys are fucking great. Like Bill especially, just Bill's so fucking random. I love that. I love randomness. It's hysterical.
Random and dry too. I love the dry sense of humor gets me. I mean, when he and I know at one point, I think it was during the episode where all of us were on and we were doing our Fallout debate show, and he started bringing out that Charles Manson book, and like that still like I'll listen, I'll go back and look at that clip and still howl and in tears, because it's just like Family Guy, how Family Guy drags a joke on and on and on. It makes me cry laughing. So like that kind of shit, if we can get on here, and that's why we love having you guys, like you said, and complimented us about it being easy to talk to us. If we don't, and he says this a lot about good shows, we didn't have to do any work. We just kind of let them go. And like, that's the best, when it doesn't feel like we got to do any work and it's just a conversation and we're bullshitting and laughing the whole time. That's the shows that we love so much.
Yeah, sometimes it's too comfortable. I'm like saying stuff I shouldn't say. You know? Like, oh.
Yeah, man, you have a career to protect. Always remember that. Jesus.
Well, you guys, thank you very much for this, and you guys are awesome. And I hope that we're at the 600th one, because that will be quite the story.
Wow. Oh man, I'm gonna be gray as shit for that one.
I understood the text. I thought you guys said 843.
those zeros get a little tricky. You know what I mean? They look like other numbers.
Very particular about our times. Yeah. 8:43.
Yeah,
on the dot.
Look, Hale, is your cell red?
What? Yeah, I think my phone's dying.
All right, good. Good. So, guys, as always, thank you once again, and we'll be talking to you guys, and hopefully seeing you guys very soon.
All right, guys. You guys, happy anniversary.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.